Fox News alert, Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, was beaten in the head with a hammer inside their San Francisco home at 2:30 in the morning.
A man broke into his home, the home he shares with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who wasn't here at the time, but that man broke into the home and attacked him with a hammer. He suffered blunt force trauma to his head and his body, experienced some bruising and other injuries, but again, is expected to fully recover. In the meantime, we have a number of different law enforcement agencies at the local and federal level investigating, continuing to gather evidence.
Here's what we know. Paul Pelosi just came out of brain surgery and is expecting a full recovery, according to his doctors. He sustained a fractured skull and serious injuries to his right arm and hands. Police arrested the alleged attacker, a 42-year-old white male named David DePape. He's an illegal alien from Canada. He has a long criminal history, including elder abuse and a slew of other felonies, but wasn't deported. San Francisco is a sanctuary city. The San Francisco Chronicle says he's a nudist activist who makes hemp jewelry, and he's been posting crazy screeds on the internet for years. I read through a few of them, and he looks mentally ill. CNN reports he was homeless, sleeping in a storage shed, and addicted to narcotics. A few former acquaintances told CNN he was out of touch with reality. So in summary, he was a mentally ill, homeless, nudist, illegal alien ex-con druggie who should have been deported. The police say at 2:27 a.m. today, officers were dispatched to Pelosi's home, responding to a well-being check that was called in. Politico reports that Paul Pelosi was able to dial 911 himself after telling the intruder he had to go use the bathroom and then calling from there, where his phone was charging. Sources told ABC News that DePape busted in through a sliding glass door and shouted, "Where's Nancy?" when he entered the home. And according to CNN, he tried to tie up Paul Pelosi and said he was going to wait for Nancy to come home. Police have not confirmed that and say they have not yet determined a motive. This is what they say they saw when they arrived.
They encountered an adult male and Mr. Pelosi's husband, Paul. Our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it.
There was a little confusion about the hammer. What we believe is that Paul was struggling with DePape over control of the hammer, just one hammer, and was hit with it as police arrived. The perp's been charged with attempted homicide, assault with a deadly weapon, elderly abuse, burglary, and a few other charges. What happens in these types of cases usually is that when the smoke clears, some of the initial reporting is wrong, which is why we're telling you what news organization is reporting what, because that could change by tomorrow. The Pelosi family is not talking, aside from the statements that they've released, and San Francisco officials are not leaking to Fox News, just about everybody else, it seems like. But like clockwork, the media is reporting that this is January 6th on the West Coast.
Before the assault occurred, according to this source, the intruder confronted Mr. Pelosi in their home, shouting, "Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy?" Debbie Dingle, that's what the intruders going through the hallways on January 6th were shouting, "Nancy, Nancy." This is part of the January 6th insurrection toxicity that has infected the brains of people around the country.
So the nude, homeless Canadian drug addict with a rap sheet a mile long who makes hemp bracelets in Berkeley is a January 6er? I think we may be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here. We wish Paul Pelosi a speedy recovery. We feel terrible for him, and our heart goes out to Nancy and their family. And we want to see this hammerman locked up for 20 years to life at least. But the media ignored the Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots. Remember, called them justified and mostly peaceful. Never blamed Bernie when a Bernie bro shot up Steve Scalise. A left-wing assassin nearly took the life of Brett Kavanaugh after the SCOTUS leak, and Democrats still didn't want to add protection to justices' homes. A Republican canvasser just had his jaw broken, and the media blamed him. And when Rand Paul got his ribs cracked by his crazy neighbor, it was one of MSNBC's favorite stories.
New details today on the incident that left Senator Rand Paul with 6 broken ribs. This might be one of my favorite stories.
Even Pelosi's daughter said Rand Paul deserved it. The Democrats have been telling us for years that crime isn't a big deal, and if you talk about it, you're racist.
We're dealing with actual crimes, those 8 homicides, and we're dealing with the perception of fear that people are feeling.
In Republican politics, the issue of crime and the issue of immigration have long been proxies for race, for playing the race card.
I also want to make sure that this hysteria, that this doesn't drive a hysteria.
The perception in this case counts more than the actual rapes.
Part of the Republican playbook, as you well know, is to point a finger at large, diverse cities and say large, diverse cities are lawless. What we see here is the same old playbook, which is about coded and racist messaging.
The Democrats and the media have been ignoring the crime wave and only cover it when Nancy Pelosi's husband's attacked. Where has the media and the Democrats been while thousands of Americans have been attacked? People are being hit with hammers every day. People are being pushed into subways, slashed, shot in cold blood. But the media focuses on this one single crime to pin it on Republicans? Come on. The Democrats defunded the police in San Francisco. The Democrats' sanctuary policies prevented the guy from being deported. The Democrats want to send social workers to welfare checks instead of cops. If they had sent a social worker here, both Paul and the social worker would probably be dead. People in San Francisco are smashing people in the head every day, and they get bailed out. And they don't get hit with attempted murder charges. Maybe they get sentenced to 2 years of restorative justice. But they throw the book at this guy because Paul's married to a powerful woman? It's not right. Every victim should be treated equally, and so should every perp. The crime wave has finally come to Nancy Pelosi's house. Hopefully, our political leaders can wake up and say enough is enough.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.